Okay, everyone. Hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, again, so great to have you all with us tonight. My name is Nicholas Viselli. I am the artistic director of theater Breaking Through Barriers in New York City. And yes, we are coming to you live as live can be from high atop the Thunderdome in glorious Midtown Manhattan on this really rainy, chilly night. But you know what? We're going to make it nice and warm and cozy and beautiful for you tonight. I promise you. Um, First things first, I want to get some housekeeping out of the way. I have to apologize to all of you. We normally do this show on YouTube with live stream captioning. So anybody that requires captioning will be able to access the show. Unfortunately, our captioning service did not show up this evening. We will deal with that later. So we do not have live stream captioning. I promise you that when we post this later on, we will have everything captioned for you. In the meantime, although this is not the ideal, if you are on YouTube and you click the CC button, you will be able to get YouTube's captioning, which it kind of mangles things a bit, but at least you might get a general idea. I am sorry about that. I'm sorry to all of our artists, and I am most sorry to all of you. That said, we are still going to have an incredible show tonight. Probably one of our best show ever. That's what I'm thinking. We've had a really, again, this is we're in the home stretch of our second week, a 14-day intensive, and the work has just been so rich. So really, to be able to create work in this way, the way we've done it in a huge collaboration during a really tense, crazy time, this is gold. So we are so happy, and we hope that you are enjoying it too. So tonight we have a really outstanding, incredible play to really warm your heart. The play was written by Tatiana G. Rivera. Tatiana has worked with TBTB for many times over the years, and I just love her writing. She has such incredible soul and such incredible passion, and she really does have this tendency to really sort of cut into the humanity, and she mines that, and that is exactly what she managed to do with this play tonight. The play was directed by Gwynn MacDonald. Now, Gwynn, you saw Gwynn's work as a writer on Sunday with the play Graham. So now you're going to get a chance to see her directing prowess. And I'm going to say, if you thought that she was an amazing writer, directing is sort of her forte. So just to give you a little taste. The cast, stellar, gorgeous, incredible people. Shravan Amin, Robin Marshall, Ben Rauch, and Patrick Toombs. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy Tatiana G. Rivera's Find Your Love.
All right. Welcome back, listeners and watchers, to a lovely Thursday night in New York City. You're watching Motown Mornings, and I am your hostess with the mostest, Robin. And that was My Girl by The Temptations, requested by caller Samantha earlier this evening. Samantha, we wish you luck with your move, and we send you blessings for your love to flourish in this next phase of your life. Because tonight, we're talking about love. Tonight, we're talking about that deep-rooted, body-numbing, punch you in the gut kind of love. And we want to hear about yours, your love of you, your love of life. We want you to tell us what still got your heart going, or for some of you, how your heart is aching. We have our next call of the evening, Dean. Hi, Dean. Welcome to Motown Mornings.
Hey, Robin. So excited to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
So, Dean, how's your love doing?
Yeah. So my love is great, actually. Really great. I'm getting married next week.
Oh, what a blessing. Tell us about it.
My fiance is incredible. The most amazing human being I've ever met. We've been together for years, but living in separate countries for the last year and a half. Needless to say, I am very ready to marry her.
Wow, living in different countries for a year and a half?
Yeah, I know. It hasn't been easy on either of us. The stress alone. In fact, I had a trip planned to see her next March, and then, well, we all remember when the world shut down. After the pandemic threw a wrench into everything, we realized we didn't want to be apart anymore. Long distance was no longer an option for us. So she's making an honest man out of me. And I'm happy to start the next chapter of my life.
I'm sure you are. Now, tell us a bit about your journey to her. What was dating like for you?
Uh, it was rough. I dated a lot. There'd be 2 or 3 or 4 year relationships with great women, but nothing ever really felt long term. Every relationship felt like it had an expiration date, to the point where I was convinced settling down wasn't in the cards for me. And then, like most things in life, just when I had resigned myself to being happily alone, she came into my life, and it was like tasting air. Fresh, clean air for the first time in my life.
Magical.
Without a doubt.
So, next is marriage, then.
A wedding here in Israel, getting settled back in the States, living life a bit, maybe getting a farm?
Wait. You're calling from Israel?
Shravan.
What is it like 4 a.m. for you there?
Uh, yep, 4:13 a.m. to be exact. Jet lag is a bitch. But I'm not complaining though. I'm still stuck in quarantine before the wedding. I flew in last week, so it's probably best for everyone to get my jet lag out of the way while crashing at an Airbnb, instead of at her, annoying her at her place.
The jet lag is truly, truly terrible.
I'm just, Robin, I'm so lucky to even be in this position that I don't want to get caught up in the negativity of complaining. Even about jet lag. My life is in such a great place right now. I just need to focus on that.
Such a beautiful, positive energy. We love to hear that.
For me right now, I have to keep focusing on the positive. I lost a few people to the virus. Some deaths I took particularly harder than others. And I saw how easy it was to get locked into the sadness and aggression of it all. Especially when you see people pretending like nothing is going on. Walking around without masks, no physical distancing. I understand that everyone must deal with the stress of the pandemic in their own way, but being a selfish prick about it and actively rejecting rules that are saving lives sort of gets under my skin?
Ooh, tell me about it.
So I continue to try and shift my emotional energy into the good things. My music lessons and students, my writing, my composing, and my fiance. Once we're married here in Israel, we'll fly back to New York City to have something smaller so my family can celebrate too. And it's just figuring out the rest of my life with the love of my life.
What you mentioned earlier may involve a farm. Are we talking chickens, goats, cows, or?
All of the above. And as soon as I can figure out how to domesticate elephants, I'll have a couple of those too.
Well, it doesn't get much better than that.
All things considered, I'm an incredibly lucky man.
Your love is overflowing and you deserve every bit of it. Thank you for calling in, Dean, and thank you for sharing your love and positivity.
Well, thanks again for having me and letting me gush about everything.
It's been our pleasure. Do you have a song request on your heart tonight?
Yes, I do. I would love to hear You Are the Sunshine of My Life, and I'd like to dedicate it to my girl, but also to everything else bringing me light right now.
You got it, Dean. Now, listeners, what I want you to take from Dean's story isn't the pressure to be positive all the time. It's getting you to find the love in your life that is fueling you. It's getting you to channel just a fraction of your emotional energy into what recharges you, into what nourishes your spirit, so that you can make it through the day, so that you can lean on the love in your life, so that you can find more of it. And I'm going to be honest, audience. It's a lesson I've always struggled to learn. New tricks on a stubborn and anxious mind, you know? So when the road is difficult and when your mind is going every which way with worry and disruption, what gives you the motivation to keep going? What is the good love in your life? What is keeping that heart pumping and getting you through the craziness of the world? We'll chat with our next caller after this next uninterrupted set of Motown classics. And we are back. That was Have You Seen Her by the Shylights. Tonight, we're talking about love and not just happy love. We're talking about every inch of that gorgeous, messy, complicated, confusing, overwhelming thing called love. What does love look like for you right now? Where in your life is it flourishing? Where could it use a little more attention? And now for our next caller. Arthur, you're on the air.
Hey Robin, how's it going?
Not too bad, Arthur. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay.
Where are you calling from tonight?
From my parents' house in upstate New York. I've been shacked up with them since this all went down.
And how's that going for you?
It's going.
A grown man moving back with his parents during a once in a lifetime pandemic. I'm sure it's going just fine.
I know. I didn't want them to be alone in case something terrible happened. I wanted to make sure I could be around to help them. But it's been a half a year now, and the dynamic is difficult.
And your love?
Also difficult.
Talk to me.
Well, you see, Robin, I've been incredibly lucky to have been able to stay with my parents during the pandemic. I scurried up here from the city when everything shut down, thinking I wouldn't be here more than a few weeks. Then a few weeks turned into a few months, and now it's almost like I'm never going to leave. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been great being back here, having bonding time with my parents. But the guilt is aggressive.
Oh boy, tell us more.
Well, I'm in my mid 30s and still single, which is the big point of contention. They want grandchildren. They want to see me settle down, playing the role of husband and father. Except I've been in the settling down age for a while now with nothing really to show for it.
Because you're still single.
Yeah, but like, the no house in the suburbs, no minivan going to soccer practice, no Sunday night family dinner kind of single. I thought I'd hit all my life benchmarks once I leveled up to the appropriate age. I always assumed I'd stumble into all of it at some point, like autopilot would kick in or something. Then the world came crashing down and magnified everything that was lacking in my life. And now all I feel is the crushing weight of their impending deadline.
Not at all an easy place to be.
No, no, it's not.
So your love is a little complicated.
Complicated, but non-existent. It's a toss-up, really.
No, no. There has got to be some good love going on over there.
No, you're right. There is. I'm just a pessimist. A realist? No, a pessimist. Which sounds better? I think what happened to me was that I spent so much time investing my emotional energy into my career that I didn't leave much else to invest in the other areas of my heart. And I don't regret making that choice. But while I could keep busy with work and just ignore everything else before, now there's just endless time to self-critique every damn thing.
What's been occupying your mind lately?
Well, there's this girl.
Mm.
We've been seeing each other on and off for the last few years. She's great. She's beautiful and interesting. And I really enjoy spending time with her. But there's this disconnect. and it's holding me back from taking things further with her. And I don't want to come off as a jerk here, mostly because she feels the exact same way. Neither one of us has made any attempt to move things along. And, it's like we're both really solid placeholders for one another uh, until we find our something better, but in a really healthy, full disclosure, non-degrading way. Except now, I can't stop wondering if I've just been wasting my time. And did I hurt myself by spending all these years with someone who isn't long term?
No, I don't think so.
You don't?
Absolutely not. You didn't waste these last few years. You invested in yourself these last few years. Your interactions with her have taught you things about your spirit and your personal value, your desires, your love language, your mental health, relationships, friendships. They teach us all those things. And I think it's a blessing that you two have recognized your eventual parting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I love her like crazy. I do. She's just not what I need for a lifetime. And I know she feels the same about me. But my parents are getting older. They're bored. They're ready for grandkids and big holidays. They want to see the proof of their legacy. And since we lost my grandmother this year, it feels especially important to reproduce and extend the bloodline by a generation, you know?
That's a big responsibility to put on yourself.
Yeah, and kind of an impossible expectation to meet during a pandemic.
Indeed. So, what are you hoping for in terms of your love?
I guess I wouldn't consider myself a romantic, but I'm ready to partner up with someone for the long haul. I want to love someone completely and be loved completely. So I'm hoping to meet my equal and live happily ever after, or the realistic version of that. So if any listeners out there, are interested,
Be sure to patch them through. Do you have a song on your heart tonight, Arthur?
uh, no, no, I trust your judgment on this one.
Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for listening, Robin.
Finding love is never easy, y'all. And love in a time of corona, near impossible. But what is so important is to never stop putting in the work, working on yourself, working on your various relationships. The world may be ending, but you are still worthy of honest and true love and attention, especially from yourself. And with any luck, you'll come out of this stronger and more grounded. We wish that for all you listening tonight. Now, here's a little Can't Hurry Love for you. I am so humbled by your beautiful comments on our page, listeners. What a beautiful thing to see. So many of you finding love and searching for love and learning to love and challenging love. And thank you to our callers for being so honest and open with their stories for the audience tonight. Next up, we have Patrick. Hello, Patrick. Welcome to Motown Mornings. How are you this evening?
Doing okay.
Just okay?
Yeah. But I'm okay with being just okay.
Elaborate on that.
I guess I'm just so unsettled with so many things in my life. My job, my love life, my family. They're all pretty strained right now. And it's honestly just a win to get up in the morning and get through the day.
The little victories, the small wins, they're all still moving you forward.
Exactly. And I'm hoping those small wins snowball into something amazing because my love is very complicated right now. My relationship with my dad is strained. which made staying with my parents through the first 5 months of the pandemic complete hell. And I keep going in and out of flings and could-be relationships. And now I'm just striking out left and right because of the pandemic. My theater career is at a complete standstill currently with no real end in sight. And just the state of the world keeps screwing with my emotional peace.
How do you mean?
Just the crazy idea that I'm trying to build an honest life geared toward my goals when there's a gross amount of people in this country being killed by stupidity and inaction. But like, how do I justify my own life's demands and requirements when so many other voices aren't even given the chance to be heard?
So how do you justify it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out how to make room at the table for me and for others. How to advocate for myself and marginalized communities. It seems pretty straightforward, but there's so much for me to learn that sometimes I feel like I'm failing everyone, including myself.
And so how is all of this affecting your love?
I guess it's the same logic, really. Learning how to love myself and someone else at the same time. Learning how to find love in the disaster of everything around me. My career has been put on pause, but I started taking acting classes to keep that love alive. My relationship with my dad is strained, but that just resulted in me spending 5 months getting closer with my mom. I'm mortified by the racism going on in our country, but I'm also recognizing how there's so much for me to unlearn as an ally. Mm-hmm. And while I have been striking out with dating these last few months, I'm discovering where I need to start establishing some boundaries.
Boundaries for what?
Boundaries for accepting the love I deserve and for denying love that takes advantage of my heart. Really, in every aspect of my life right now, I'm figuring out what I deserve and how to advocate for it. I'm trying to improve myself every day. I'm experiencing some serious emotional growing pains, but I feel like there's no better time to do it than now.
And to what end?
For more authentic adventure, for more genuine excitement. It's frustrating living in this sort of limbo in so many aspects of my life. But without this experience, I don't think I could have learned so much about myself so quickly. I don't think I could have learned about my darker side and the personal cost of constantly performing happiness for everyone. I'm learning about the friendships that I'm growing into and the friendships that I'm growing out of. And it's all culminating into this weird meta understanding of my life so far. And it's eye-opening. I'm exhausted and empowered.
What a declaration.
I'm just so grateful for the personal growth. I'm grateful for learning personal forgiveness. It helps me know that being just okay is honest and necessary and valid. Because before the pandemic, I was pretty occupied with being a light for everyone around me, that I didn't really allow myself to feel low. Now, if I have a dark day, then I need to have a dark day.
And how do you avoid a dark day from fully taking over?
I don't know that I have the answer to that. My depression and anxiety have been on such high alert. And sometimes trying to get yourself out of a funk feels like you're fighting against the wind. But I'm learning that I have to go through it. I have to challenge myself. And that has helped me to appreciate my breakdowns for what they're teaching me rather than just getting lost in the sadness. My heart hurts, but in a good way. Does that make sense?
You know, I've always said that heartache is one of the most beautiful things you can experience because it shows you that the old ticker still works.
Yes, and I am forever grateful for that reminder.
Thank you, Patrick. I'm sure your story has left an impression on many in our audience.
No, thank you. Your show, your words, your ability to connect people has been so important for me and my emotional journey.
Do you have a song in your heart tonight?
I do actually. People Get Ready, I think really speaks to the reckoning that's about to happen in our world. And it also gives me the strength to keep fighting and learning how to love myself.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Patrick, for calling in tonight. Now, before we play Patrick's song and kick off the final uninterrupted set of music for the evening, I just want to leave you all with some much needed advice I recently gave myself. We are all human. We are all human. We are not superhuman. Find forgiveness. Find it hard. Forgive yourself. Learn from the mistakes and move forward. Sit yourself down and breathe, even when you think there's no time for it. Release what's got a hold on you and find your love. Find your love on purpose. Find it by mistake because it is there waiting for you. Thank you for joining us this evening on Motown Mornings. I'm your host, Robin. Thank you and good night.
Oh, wow, wow. Thank you all so much. Robin, you're still here, so I just had to pop on and say thank you. Come on in, everybody. I want everyone to pop in if you could. Shravan, how are you? Oh my goodness, Tatiana, Ben, Gwynn, Patrick, you're all here. Oh, you guys, that show, it just kind of, it really warms my heart. Why? Because it's so personal, and it really does talk very directly. I think it speaks very directly to what so many of us are feeling right now. And I know the way Tatiana works. I know how, as a writer, and she always has that wonderful knack of really cutting into the heart of the matter. And I just thought it was so well done, so really so beautiful. I have to apologize again because I know that so much of this piece involved music that I wanted so much to play, and I want to be able to add it in, but because we are streaming live and there are copyright rules that will not allow us to play the music live, we just have to leave it in your imaginations because I know all of you know the music that we're talking about. So I hope that you were able to do that. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. On a night that's really kind of damp and bone chilling, it just, it's nice and warm. It makes me feel nice and warm. So thank you. I don't have a whole lot of time for questions, but I want to start with you, Tatiana, because I want to ask you about how, first of all, this group was all paired together randomly, as with all of our other groups, and I want to know what it was like working with them and creating this piece, and how you chose to create this piece.
Yeah, I had like no idea or concept. Sorry, I shared living, so you may hear some other noises here. I didn't really have a concept walking in. I knew that I probably wanted to touch on the pandemic a little bit because, you know, obviously it's all that's clouding everybody's minds right now. But it was weird, the process. I've never not met with actors in person. And the way that I interview actors is always collectively in the same room because I love to hear actors sort of to speak on things that, you know, sort of ignites an idea in somebody else, and just sort of that free flow of conversation. So it was a little more intimate, which was outside of my comfort level for sure, having to meet with everybody one-on-one. But ultimately I think it got me to a point where I got to sort of like really appreciate everybody and appreciate their story. And, you know, side note, I fell in love with Robin, which is why she sort of became the crux of the play for me. Like what she talked about really resonated with like my own experience. And so it was a nice little bit of therapy writing this out, and stealing everybody's memories as my own.
Well, but you know what? Yeah, but just because of this collaboration, you sort of wrote them and then gave them back. So I think that that's what's really extraordinary about that. Um, and Gwynn, my God, you know, you just are this huge well of talent. I love. I think you're an amazing director, and I'm really incredibly proud of you, because we got to see you direct and write. So we saw so much of your talent on display during this intensive. So I'm so grateful to you for that.
Well,
Um,
thanks for the opportunity, Nick. I mean, truly.
no, my goodness, are you kidding? You again, I say to all of you, this company, we are only as good as our artists. So it is you're the ones that elevate the work. You're the ones that elevate the company, and so you know, the thanks goes right back to you. So tell me what it was like to work. Did you work individually with actors for this, or did you sort of work as a group? I'm curious to know what the rehearsal process was like.
Yeah, I mean, originally we worked as a group so that we could all really inhabit the space of Robin's radio show, you know, internet radio show hybrid.
Yeah.
And then we worked individually. And I think, you know, something you said means a lot, which is that Tatiana took the interviews that she did with the actors, then gave it back to them, and that's really hard, I think, for actors to um, have something that they kind of remember the genesis of, and maybe the context in which they originally said it, but now it's slightly new, very new,
Mm-hmm.
and then to have to play a character. I mean, they're not replicating their conversation with Tatiana. They're inhabiting, you know, a dramatic world that's been created by her. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you, as an actor, find the distance? You know, it's a process, and all three of these guys and Robin, you know, went through that process, and just it was really wonderful watching them work to create characters
Mm-hmm.
based on, in a way, themselves, right? I mean, Ben is in Israel. He did just get married.
I know.
He seems very enthusiastic about his wife, who he keeps calling fiance, which is very funny.
That's funny. I love that.
So
I
yeah,
relate to that. I really do. You know, when Amory and I were married, we used to, you know, she'd look at me and she'd be like, "Yeah, that's my husband," and she'd start to laugh. You know, "Yeah, my wife." like it just felt so weird to say that, you know. So it's very cool. But yeah, I agree. But you brought up that really wonderful question about how do you inhabit something that you have sort of shared as a sort of a personal uh, feeling, a personal event in your life, and then it was sort of altered in, you know, what, sanitized for your protection, I guess, and then sent back out again. I find it quite interesting. But Robin, you you are astounding. you are you are. I know that you, in addition to being an incredible actor, you are also a teacher. You do so much, and I am. It's just such an honor to have you and to work with you. Your work is in many ways to me a masterclass. Having the opportunity to work with you last time on a piece that your daughter wrote, who is again just such a gifted playwright. Monet Marshall, really amazing. Asked her to be here, but unfortunately she was doing another project, so we're gonna have to wait until next time. But your work is just extraordinary, and I know that you had mentioned earlier that you might have some students that were watching. I just want to say, they are watching. So I just want to say to your students, you are so lucky. You are so fortunate to have such an amazing teacher and artist that's instructing you. So all the best. So, but you're amazing. You're just amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
And very quickly to you guys, Shravan. Again, I'm so happy that you did this play because you did something that was a little more serious and personal. And the last time I got a chance to see your comedy chops, and you just are hilarious. So to see this depth and this versatility that you can convey is really, again, it's a gift to me to see. And I just love you. I think you're great, and I can't wait to do more work with you. So I guess I want to ask you guys really quickly, because we have a few more minutes, and we're late, but I want to. How did this feel to do this play and sort of use some of I know Tatiana took a lot of your own individual stories and sort of translated them. So what was that like for you to play these roles? I'm gonna start with you, Robin.
Well, she and I spoke, and it was a really beautiful experience to spend time with her, and so I just like poured out, and then we just shared, but this process has been beautiful, working with these guys. And Gwynn, you are amazing. I love you. Working with this group has been awesome for me. And as far as the writing, I'm like a student, because I could see where she was like throwing down hints for, like, in I think one of the lines, she'll throw down a hint, say like in like author's piece, to like help me with my lines. And I'm like, oh, I never do that when I write. I got to start doing that. I love it.
Oh, see, I love it. I think that's so great. Yeah, part of I think one of the reasons why this works, the intensive, the way we did it this time works so well, is it is collaboration, and you are all start off quite literally at zero. All of you all start at the same place, and the way the project moves forward is purely all of your effort, all of you. It's not one person that's pulling the weight. All of you are pulling the weight. All of your energy, all of your enthusiasm, all of your creative skills come to bear in this. It is also a great team exercise, because to see how, and it's a risk. I mean, from our end, I will say it's a risk, because when we're pairing people together randomly, names out of hats, no preconceived ideas here. We can't really guarantee what the chemistry is going to be like. Are you all going to hit it off? Are you going to get along well with each other? Are you not going to get along well with each other? Which, that can, one person, one altercation can tip the whole balance of it. And I feel so incredibly fortunate that the Fates decided this, and the Fates, you did a great job, because again, I could not have paired this group better if I just did it intentionally. So great. Shravan, what about you? What do you think?
It was when we were talking before Tatiana wrote the play, I kind of divulged a lot more than I thought I was going to
Mhm.
about what I was feeling, what I was going through. Um, and then once I got the script, I felt like, wow, this really hits close to home. And then I realized it was like my story. Like, oh, duh. Um, but then it was kind of jarring, you
Mhm.
know, I'm reading my own kind of words transformed and playing this character. So it felt like I had to get through that, sort of get past that. And once I got past that, I was able to just relax and just literally use my own experience to play the character. But at first it was really jarring,
Mhm. I
you
can
know.
imagine. I know that again, to sort of divulge personal details, and we can't even really say with great. You can say, but as an audience member, we can't really say with any great accuracy what was real, what was not. We
Right.
know that in doing that, it certainly helped you to find a truth and a reality, and that all of with all of you, that truth of what you were what you were saying, what you how you were acting, all just comes through. It feels very real. It feels very much a slice of life. Very sincere. So that is the gift of the writing, and also the gift of a good director to be able to monitor that and to say, to sort of coax that out. So I just again found it exceptional. Um, and I know we're running out, so I just want to say, Patrick, I just got to get something from you. Ben, I'm going to talk to you in the next one because we have a lot to say. So I'm going to leave you for next time. But I want to ask you, Patrick. Again, this is I think the second time you've worked with us, second or third time you've worked with us.
Second intensive I've done, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad. Thank you. What do you think? What do you have to say?
You know, both the last time and this time, I really had a blast. I love what you're doing with this company, and I love that you're sort of sticking your neck out a little bit with these sorts of projects. And this was an interesting experience for me because, we had these interviews with Tatiana, and kind of like Shravan, I said more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
Which it always happens, honestly. Whenever I'm like hanging out with someone and we're talking, I always say more than I think I'm going to. But as an actor, I hadn't had that experience of getting a script and seeing some things that I recognized. But not all of it, right? It had changed. So that was an interesting way for me to learn and grow and figuring out how to navigate that, and finding the truth in every word when sometimes the words literally were my words,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes they weren't. And it was sort of like a little bit of a balancing act, and I really enjoyed that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you pulled it off so beautifully. All of you just pulled it off so beautifully because it came across as very naturalistic. This could very well be an actual radio call-in show. And you are all being very honest and sincere, calling from wherever you're calling from in the middle of the night, from a little corner of your bedroom, or from a corner of your house that you're just sort of tucked away, and revealing very personal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what makes this so nice and so special. So
and I really appreciated Gwyn's direction, because she's a great lie detector.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always a great thing for a director. So she would always at least call me out whenever she didn't believe it, and that's always super helpful as an actor.
Well, great. I'm so happy. Ben, I'm gonna say you're freaking amazing. We're gonna talk in the next segment, but I have to say thank you again for all of your incredible art and for bringing what you brought, elevating this work. I love you all, and I think you're just such extraordinary and incredibly gifted artists. So I just really appreciate you. And I want to thank all of you out there that were watching tonight. Again, apologies for not having the captioning tonight. We hope that we will have captioning for you tomorrow night and for the rest of the intensive. But If you like what you saw, please, we have a few days left. We're running until Sunday. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your cousins, uncles, aunts, everybody. Tell everybody. Shout it, go out the window, shout out the window, because we want to bring as many people into this as possible. If you really like us, go to our website, tbtb.org. You can see everything that we've been up to, past shows, what we're doing presently. And if you really, really like us, on our homepage, there's a little button on the top that says donate. If you would like to support us and give us some financial love, we will deeply appreciate it. Well, thank you. And you'll be a friend for life. That's all I have to say. So I hope you'll tune in tomorrow night, 7:30. We have, oh my goodness, another phenomenal play. Tomorrow night's play is by, again, another TBTB alum, such an amazing writer, Jared Bogard. Jared, I'm so glad that Jared actually just relocated to Colorado, so he's going to be beaming in from Colorado, but I'm so glad that he created this play. It was directed by Adrien Smith. Again, now you got to see Adrien last intensive acting as an actor, but she's going to be directing this show tomorrow night. And again, all-star cast, Jen Bradley, Sarah Fulkins, Ward Nixon, Nick Walter. The play, Good Night Somebody. So I hope you will tune in on our Friday night and see Jared's new work. I want to thank you all. Thank you guys so much. Again, please be safe, mask up, do not forget, vote. Please vote as if your life depended